Hello everyone, I am Mrudula and today I am going to tell you about the clinical trials. So clinical trials are the research studies that test new medical, then surgical and behavioral intervention in the people. They are used to determine if a new treatment or a new prevention is safe or effective. So now the clinical trials involves the new drug and drug combination, then new surgical procedures or devices, then new ways for the existing treatment, then new ways to change behavior to improve the life of people, and new ways to improve the quality of life for people with acute or chronic illness. Now the clinical trials are the key part of clinical researches and medical advances. Clinical trials are conducted in various phases with a different number of people involved in or taking part in each phase. And it is essential to get marketing approval from the regulatory authorities. The time required for the clinical trial is nearly up to 7 years. Before studying phases involved in clinical trials, we overview the preclinical studies. So preclinical studies are the studies which done before the clinical trials, and the studies are done on the animals. The animals involved in preclinical studies are mainly rat, mice, then primates, guinea pigs, etc. Then the major areas in preclinical studies are: first one is the pharmacodynamic study, then in vivo study in animals, then in vitro preparation, then absorption, distribution, elimination studies, which is known as pharmacokinetic study, then acute, subacute, chronic toxicity studies, which known as the toxicity profile, and lastly the therapeutic index, which is related to the safety and efficacy evaluation. Now let's see the phases involved in clinical trials. So there are mainly 5 phases involved in the clinical trials, mainly phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 and phase 5. So let's see one by one. So first one is the phase 0. Phase 0 is also known as human microdosing phase, which involves the microdosing quantity of the drug. Then it is conducted to study the exploratory investigational new drug, and then it is concerned with the data on the drug's pharmacodynamic and pharmacokinetic activity and efficacy of preclinical studies. Now the next phase of clinical trial is the phase 1. So it is known as clinical pharmacologic evaluation. So this is the first stage of testing in human subject. It involves 20 to 80 healthy volunteers, and it is concerned with the human toxicity, tolerated dosage range, then pharmacology and pharmacodynamics of the drug. There are mainly 3 types of phase 1. First one is the SAD, that is single ascending dose, then second is the MAD, that is multiple ascending dose, and third is the food effects. Then now the phase 2. So phase 2 is also known as the controlled clinical evaluation. In this phase there are 80 to 300 patients are involved. This is the controlled blind technique, and it is concerned with the safety, efficacy, drug toxicity and drug interaction. Now we see the phase 3. So phase 3 is the extended clinical trials. It is most expensive and time consuming phase. Then there are nearly 300 to 1000 patients are involved in the phase 3. It is the controlled double blind technique, and it is concerned with the safety, efficacy, then comparison with other drugs and the package insert. Now the last phase of clinical trial is the phase 4, which is known as the post-marketing surveillance. So this phase is designed to detect any rare or long-term adverse effect or adverse event drug monitoring, and it is related with the pharmacovigilance. Now we see how clinical trials are performed or done in India. So all clinical trials must be publicly documented in the Clinical Trials Registry India. Then various government agencies and laws regulate the clinical trials. The drug controller grants approval for the clinical trials. These all organizations are answerable to the Ministry of Health and Human Welfare. Thank you.